So, what if Darth Maul had killed Obi-Wan Kenobi on Naboo? And of course, I could do the scenario where Darth Maul kills Obi-Wan Kenobi, but Qui-Gon Jinn kills Darth Maul, so Qui-Gon Jinn survives. Or I could do it the way where Darth Maul kills both Qui-Gon Jinn and Obi-Wan Kenobi. And I know I like to do all these different scenarios, but for this video, let's just focus on the one. Let's just focus on what if Darth Maul killed Qui-Gon Jinn and Obi-Wan Kenobi on Naboo. And of course, I'd love to focus on a scenario where a Qui-Gon Jinn survives, but I'm not really sure how I would do that one yet, so we'll save that for another time. Okay, Darth Maul stabs Qui-Gon Jinn as he did originally, and then Darth Maul proceeds to fight Obi-Wan Kenobi, and Obi-Wan Kenobi is so angry and off balance that Darth Maul manages to knock him into the hole as he did in the original timeline, but instead of waiting, Darth Maul grabs Obi-Wan Kenobi's own lightsaber and he cuts off one of Obi-Wan Kenobi's hands. And Obi-Wan Kenobi cries in pain as his hand falls into the hole. And then Darth Maul teases him a little bit. Darth Maul blinds Obi-Wan Kenobi with a lightsaber. So in the same way Darth Maul blinded Kanan Jarrus, Darth Maul blinds Obi-Wan Kenobi by slashing him across the eyes. And then Darth Maul chops Obi-Wan Kenobi into little pieces and throws him into the hole. And then Darth Maul realizes that Qui-Gon Jinn is still alive because, remember in the original Phantom Menace, Qui-Gon Jinn was still alive to tell Obi-Wan to train Anakin, and then he died. Like he'd been stabbed and he'd been killed, but he wasn't quite dead yet. Like he was in the process of dying. So Darth Maul sees that Qui-Gon Jinn is still alive. So Darth Maul chops off Qui-Gon Jinn's head, and so Darth Maul takes Qui-Gon Jinn's head and Obi-Wan Kenobi's head. And of course, he's chopped off the rest of Obi-Wan Kenobi, and then he leaves Obi-Wan Kenobi's arm as well as one of Qui-Gon Jinn's legs as a message to the Jedi, and then he takes Obi-Wan Kenobi's head and Qui-Gon Jinn's head and puts it in a bag, and then he takes Obi-Wan Kenobi's lightsaber and Qui-Gon Jinn's lightsaber, and he leaves, and Darth Maul goes and he takes the crystals out of Obi-Wan Kenobi's lightsaber and Qui-Gon Jinn's lightsaber, and he bleeds the crystals using the dark side ritual, and he makes Obi-Wan Kenobi's crystal and Qui-Gon Jinn's crystals red, and he builds a new double-bladed lightsaber to replace the one that Obi-Wan Kenobi cut in half. So Darth Maul has a new double-bladed lightsaber, and actually he fixes the original double-bladed lightsaber that Obi-Wan Kenobi cut in half, so now he has two double-bladed lightsabers. Meanwhile, the Jedi Council arrives on Naboo, and like Evan Peel, Sazy Tin, Depa Billaba, Yoda, Mace Windu, Ki-Adi-Mundi, all of them, Alpha and Chancellor, the newly elected Chancellor Palpatine, also arrive. And of course, Anakin Skywalker. Now here's where I could go two ways. So one, I was originally planning on having Anakin just die on board the Trade Federation battle station, like make it so that he forgot how to use a ship or something, or a ship malfunctioned and he just got blown up with the space station. Like he still blows it up, he still blows up the command center, but he gets blown up with it or something. But let's say he gets back on Naboo. And meanwhile, Chancellor Palpatine has heard of Anakin Skywalker, and he's very interested in this Anakin Skywalker individual. And so, Chancellor Palpatine wants to get to Anakin, but before he does, Yoda, Mace Windu, Ki-Adi-Mundi, Plo Koon, Yaddle, Evan Peel, Depa Billaba, all the Jedi Council members, all of them, they take Anakin Skywalker and they put him inside a room. And meanwhile, Yoda and Mace Windu go investigate the site of the duel, and they find Obi-Wan Kenobi's arm and Qui-Gon Jinn's leg, and they realize that Obi-Wan Kenobi and Qui-Gon Jinn are dead. So they're horrified because that means that this Sith Lord was incredibly dangerous and destructive and just downright powerful. So they're really worried, because they also have the feeling that this was a Sith apprentice, so who knows how much more powerful the Sith Master will be. And so they take the arm and the leg and they hold a funeral for it, and then they decide, what are they going to do with Anakin Skywalker? Well, Yoda has a bad feeling, and he has some premonitions and force visions that tell him that Anakin is going to be very dangerous, and Mace Windu also does not like Anakin either. And so the Jedi Council gets together, and It's Yaddle who just says, dangerous this boy is. A dangerous as a Jedi he would be. Okay, I can't sustain a Yaddle impression, but anyway, Yaddle suggests that the Jedi Council take care of Anakin Skywalker in, quote unquote, take care, not really take care. And so, and yes, and of course, it's Alperancesis, Yaddle's former Padawan. Alperancesis points out that they cannot just return Anakin to Tatooine because his mother is still a slave. And so, Yaddle Poof suggests doing away with Anakin on the spot, and then Yaddle agrees that Anakin has to be killed because he could be a threat. And so they bring up the suggestion to Yoda and Mace Windu, who don't really like the suggestion, but eventually they agree. And so they bring in Anakin, and Mace Windu makes Anakin fall asleep, and Depa Billaba, Eth Koth, Plo Koon, Kiadi Mundi, Yoda, Mace Windu, Sazy Tin, Evan Peel, Yaddle, Alperancesis, Yaddle Poof, Adigalia, all pull out their lightsabers and they chop Anakin to pieces, and so Anakin Skywalker is dead. And of course, Chancellor Palpatine is pretty mad that that happened. Like, his grand plan has somewhat been modified because now Anakin Skywalker has been chopped to pieces by the Jedi Council. And of course, the Jedi Council would keep it quiet. They would not broadcast publicly that they killed a 9-year-old boy. Like, they would just not be quiet about the fact that they killed a child. And so Anakin will be dead. So Qui-Gon's dead, Obi-Wan's dead, Anakin's dead, Jin, Kenobi, Skywalker, all dead. Oh, you know what? It's really funny though, because Liam Neeson played Qui-Gon Jinn, and Qui-Gon's last name is Jin, but Liam Neeson also played Aslan in The Chronicles of Narnia, and the White Witch Jadis, she actually is part Jin, and it's really funny. But anyway, yeah, but they're all dead. So Darth Maul, and meanwhile Darth Sidious is very impressed with Darth Maul, because Darth Maul managed to kill Qui-Gon Jinn and Obi-Wan Kenobi, and Qui-Gon Jinn's pretty powerful. He was recommended for the Jedi Council many times, so Darth Sidious is very impressed with Darth Maul, and he decides Darth Maul is just going to be his ultimate apprentice unless he finds a better one, and Darth Maul is just going to be his right-hand man, because Darth Sidious valued Darth Maul, and he considered Darth Maul to be an actual asset and good for business. Whereas he considered Count Dooku to be more disposable, and Darth Vader was the ultimate prize. But Darth Maul was still very considerably, useful. So, but meanwhile, you have to keep in mind that Mother Talzin is still out there, and she's biding her revenge and biding time, and she wants to return. She wants to reunite with Darth Maul, and then she wants for her and him to rule the galaxy together. Mother Talzin wants to destroy Darth Sidious, but she can't make her move yet. Now, over the next 10 years, Darth Maul would continue doing missions for Darth Sidious, and Darth Maul would get the separatist movement together. He would organize the Confederacy of Independent Systems. And I still think that Darth Sidious would use Count Dooku, but instead Count Dooku would not even be made an official Sith apprentice. He would literally be treated like trash, like disposable trash, in that Count Dooku would answer to Darth Maul, and Count Dooku would be sort of like the Grand Inquisitor was to Darth Vader and Darth Sidious. Like, Darth Sidious and Darth Vader were the Sith, but they had the Grand Inquisitor, their enforcer, and a bunch of other Inquisitors who would do their dirty work for them sometimes and just work on sort of administrative, killing stray Jedi tasks, killing weaker Jedi tasks, and just keeping order in parts of the Empire. They would do that, but with Count Dooku. So Darth Sidious and Darth Maul would have Count Dooku as this little dark side agent kind of deal, and Count Dooku would just be a servant of the Sith. He would not be a Sith. So Darth Maul and Count Dooku would put the Confederacy of Independent Systems together, and a bunch of systems would secede from the Republic. And Count Dooku would be the face of the movement, so that would really throw the Jedi off, because the Jedi would be surprised that Count Dooku is doing that stuff, and also that, and once the Jedi find out that Count Dooku is working for the Sith, well, they won't know if Count Dooku is actually the Sith, and if he's the apprentice to Darth Maul, or if Count Dooku was, well, they won't really know what's going on with the Sith, because they know there's two Sith, so they won't even know, hey, is Count Dooku a Sith or not, and then they'll just be so confused that it's just going to really troll and prank the Jedi, and it's going to make things much better. So I think Attack of the Clones would play out very similarly as it did. Um, in this case, I think Padme Amidala would probably still survive the assassination attempts, and let's just say they assign two different Jedi to Padme. So maybe they assign Luminara Unduli and Barriss Offee to um, the Jedi to protect Padme Amidala, and I think they would still succeed in protecting Padme Amidala. They're pretty good at their job, so they would still succeed in protecting her. And Luminara and of course Zam Muzzle would still die, and Luminara Unduli would take the saber dart, and of course Luminara Unduli would have a much harder time. That I'm not sure if Luminara Unduli has a relationship with Dexter Jester, so she'd probably go to Jocasta Nu, and Jocasta Nu would probably not tell her about Kamino because Jocasta Nu had a thing with Count Dooku. But anyway, Luminara Unduli would travel to Kamino, while Barriss Offee would travel to Naboo with Padme. And obviously Barriss Offee would not fall in love with Padme Amidala, although that would be a very interesting scenario now, wouldn't it? Meanwhile, Luminara Unduli goes to Geonosis, gets captured, and Count Dooku does his little manipulation with Luminara Unduli, albeit in a different way. And I think that Barriss Offee would stay put with Senator Amidala on Naboo. Like, Barriss Offee would not disobey orders from Luminara. Like, that's just not the way they roll, as we've seen in the series. So Barriss Offee would stay with Padme on Naboo, but the Jedi would still get Luminara's distress call, and they would still send their forces to Geonosis. And so there would still be a battle of Geonosis, and the clones would arrive, reinforce the Jedi, and so the Clone Wars would still break out. Now, I think they would still use General Grievous as well, just to have many assets and many tools flying around so that they can keep order and stuff. Now, in the Clone Wars, obviously Count Dooku would, I think, go and fight some Jedi and deal with some administrative tasks of the Separatist movement, and General Grievous would also go fight some Jedi and deal with the battles, and Darth Maul and Darth Sidious would be the ones really in charge. And Darth Maul would occasionally reveal himself and fight some Jedi and really just kill a bunch of very prominent Jedi, including council members. And of course, the Jedi would be so confused. They'd be like, "Are Darth Maul and Count Dooku the Sith, or is it just like, is there another Sith Lord out there? Like, what the f is going on?" That would be interesting. And as a side note, I made the Jedi kill Anakin Skywalker because they would all be apprehensive about him, and the Jedi were kind of crazy, and they, without Obi-Wan or Qui-Gon to protect Anakin, I'm not sure what they would have done to Anakin, and so that's why I had them kill Anakin. Anyway, the Clone Wars would progress, but Mother Talzin would have other plans in mind, and Mother Talzin would have Asajj Ventress run into Darth Maul. And Mother Talzin would send a message to Asajj Ventress. Well, I'm not really sure. Yeah, she would send a message to Asajj Ventress to Darth Maul and tell them that she was going to help them out and really come up with a plan to take over the galaxy, and that their main goal was to destroy Darth Sidious after. So Darth Maul would train Asajj Ventress, and Asajj Ventress would be Darth Maul's apprentice. Of course, she wouldn't be quite a Sith, but yeah, Darth Maul would train Asajj Ventress, and Asajj Ventress would be even more powerful with Darth Maul's training. Meanwhile, the Clone Wars would go on pretty much very similarly to the way it did. I mean, I assume it'd probably be even more destructive without Anakin and Obi-Wan to save the day. Like, the Clone Wars would just rip through the galaxy, and a lot of Jedi and clones would be killed, a lot of droids would be destroyed, a lot of worlds would just be ravaged and just completely annihilated. And towards the end of the war, the Jedi Council would probably catch on to the fact that Darth Sidious, that Chancellor Palpatine is Darth Sidious. Let's just say the Battle of Coruscant takes place, and Chancellor Palpatine still stages a fake kidnapping. And the Jedi get on board, and let's just say it's Mace Windu and Yoda who go to rescue Chancellor Palpatine, and Mace Windu and Yoda easily kill Count Dooku. And even if Count Dooku were taken prisoner, I doubt Darth Sidious would let him live. I think Darth Sidious would have a little accident where maybe a blaster on the side just drops and shoots Count Dooku, and yeah, Darth Sidious would have Count Dooku killed. Like, even or if Darth Sidious figured that Mace Windu and Yoda would take Count Dooku prisoner, take him alive, if Darth Sidious felt like Mace Windu and Yoda would take Count Dooku alive, then Darth Sidious would just go ahead and kill Count Dooku first. So yeah, that's what would happen, and then I think in that case, let's just say Mace Windu and Yoda are so efficient that they kill General Grievous all along with Count, like they kill General Grievous too. And meanwhile, the Jedi are very suspicious of Chancellor Palpatine because he keeps on insisting on staying in office and holding on to his emergency power. So, what's going on there? And I think Yoda, Mace Windu, and let's just say a few other Jedi Council members go and confront Darth Sidious, and they find out Darth Sidious is a Sith Lord. And Darth Sidious would fight them all, and I think he would just kill them all because, as I've said in previous videos, that as powerful as Yoda and Mace Windu are, I think Darth Sidious is just more powerful. And Darth Sidious would destroy both Yoda and Mace Windu in a fight, and Darth Sidious would kill Yoda and Mace Windu and just destroy everyone, and he would win. And afterwards, Darth Sidious would execute Order 66, and all the clone troopers would turn on the Jedi and start killing them across the galaxy, and Darth Maul would march into the Jedi Temple and just kill all the Jedi. All of them. Oh, and as a side note, Darth Maul would have kept Asajj Ventress a secret from Darth Sidious, although Darth Sidious might have figured it out, but maybe Mother Talzin would have helped to cover it up a little bit. And so, there's that. I'm not really sure if Asajj Ventress is even necessary in this scenario. I mean, maybe she isn't, so maybe we'll just throw her out and pretend she just didn't exist in this scenario. But anyway, Darth Maul would march into the Jedi Temple and kill all the Jedi with help of the clone troopers. And Darth Maul would then go and kill the Separatist leaders on Mustafar. And all the Jedi would be dead. And as I've said, in this scenario, Mace Windu and Yoda would also be dead because he went to fight Darth Sidious and Darth Sidious just killed them all. So there's that. And now, what happens? So all the Jedi are dead, and Darth Maul will continue hunting down the Jedi. And so now we're at the time of post-Revenge of the Sith, and I think after Darth Maul would still train the Grand Inquisitor, and Darth Maul still train all the Inquisitors, and the Inquisitors would be instrumental in hunting down the Jedi. And eventually, all the Jedi would be dead, and it would be around the time of Star Wars Rebels, maybe even later, or maybe early on in the Empire. Okay, let's just say early on in the Empire. Maybe a few weeks after Revenge of the Sith. All the Jedi seem to have been killed, and everything's going smoothly, but the Empire is having trouble keeping control. And I think here's where things would come in. So I think Darth Maul and Mother Talzin would make their move and go to war against Darth Sidious. And maybe in the coming years, Darth Maul, in the past few years, would have already built up his own secret army of criminals. It's possible. So I think that's when, early on in the Empire, when Darth Sidious doesn't have a full grip on the galaxy yet, that's when Darth Maul and Mother Talzin would make their move against Darth Sidious. And in this scenario, Darth Sidious could still win, or maybe Mother Talzin could win. It's unclear who would win in this scenario because of the many factors that have been changed. And, there's infinite possibilities with these what-if scenarios. So, yes, that's what I think. I think everything would have just played out exactly the same, except Darth Sidious. So I think that if Darth Maul had killed Qui-Gon Jinn and Obi-Wan Kenobi, then the Jedi Council would have killed Anakin Skywalker, but the rest of the prequel trilogy would have turned out exactly the same. The only difference being that Darth Maul remains Darth Sidious's apprentice, and then later, Mother Talzin and Darth Maul make their move against Darth Sidious. And who knows what happens from there.